Your era as a people pleaser is finally coming to an end, a full stop, finito, it's over. Hello you guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I want to talk about something that was not the original plan of the video, because the video that I wanted to do today, because I felt so amazing, was all about positive vibes and romanticizing your life, but that will have to wait until after, because right now I'm feeling a lot of things that is an accumulation of times that I've been a people pleaser in my life and the ways that I've seen my own growth and change, and also the boundaries that I've set recently. And we need to talk about what you can learn from it, because if you're watching this, chances are you feel like a people pleaser. You tend to cave to people and their needs before your own, and I don't think we should do it anymore. The very first thing we got to start off with is knowing that number one, being selfish is actually good. When you're good, when you're taking care of yourself, which means being able to say yes and no, but keeping yourself as the number one person in your life, as the number one, that means that people are actually going to benefit more from having you in their lives, because a happier person means a more fulfilled, gracious, grateful, and generous, those were a lot of G's, person who can actually give, but give from a cup that's not completely drained, and they're not just giving as a way of validation and making you like them. Because what you need to understand is you are giving from an empty space, and you're thinking that you're gonna be filled up by the people because they want to give you back. But they're never going to be able to fill up that hole, because you need to be able to give yourself that validation first. And a person who can do that and actually put themselves first, put themselves on the pedestal, as selfish as it sounds, is the person that's going to end up happier. And the person who doesn't do that, which is probably you and what I used to be for so long and I'm still dealing with, is someone who gets very angry and bitter and tends to be alone a lot, because you start to resent people and you start to feel like people just give, that people just take and take and take, because technically you're just sitting there and you're giving, giving, giving. And then one day when you explode, people go, whoa, 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 what's happening? And you're like, do you mean what's happening? You've taken advantage of me for the last freaking time, and I'm setting a hard boundary. But what we gotta work on, you and me, is you not needing to get to that point where you explode. Pretty much every single job I've had in my life has kind of ended with me quitting in a way that kind of looks like, I have had it with you bitches and I am out of here and I'm never coming back. And it feels so good in the moment. And to be fair, technically they deserve it, but I could have set way more solid boundaries. So whether it's in relationships that are friendly, whether it's a romantic relationship, if it's one of those amazing, lovely situationships that codependent people pleasers tend to end up in, or if it's your best friend that you feel like has been your best friend for so long that of course you need to be there for them always, 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 no matter what they do. I don't care whether it's a job or a relationship. You have to work on you and you being able to really set boundaries in every situation, no matter what, first. I'm going to make an entirely separate video on friendships and one on love, relationships, and of course on situationships. So I'm going to do one on love and one on platonic relationships on their own in another video, because I feel like there's so much to get into. But this right now, what we have to talk about is you being able to look within and identify the fact that maybe you in fact are a people pleaser in general. And it's not that hard to know, because a lot of times you probably tend to get frustrated, you tend to feel resentment, and you always feel like you're the one giving, 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 and people never realize it. But when you recognize that, then what do you do? Because you need to identify, in what situations do I tend to be a people pleaser mostly? Is there one category where I tend to put myself in situations again and again and again, whether it's saying yes to things I don't want to go to, if it's going to see some guy that I know doesn't make me feel good, or like in my case, when I've let my friends be flaky with me and always be too late when we have to meet up somewhere, when I know that one of my values is being on time. And it's really something that I see as a sign of disrespect. And some people just don't. And some people are just kind of like meh about stuff like that. But I'm not. And if I allow myself to constantly let that boundary be crossed, then it's always going to be crossed, because I'm showing them, no matter what I'm saying, I'm showing them there are no repercussions and I'm fine with it. The second step you need to realize is you are actually doing a form of manipulation. It is completely normal, like we talked about in another video, that our survival brains are quite literally trying to keep us alive, which means number one, staying away from danger, and it means community. It means we need to be liked to be a part of a community, because a long time ago, it actually would mean death in a lot of cases if we did not have a community. So understand and appreciate the fact that you're a normally functioning human being with a normal brain who understands that it needs to send those signals. But you also need to understand that you need to thrive in this lifetime. And if you can't set boundaries, that's not going to happen. And for me, I've just had so many situations now where I get so frustrated that I either waste so much time or I let something slide. Or if I regret having like a blow up at someone because I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have reacted like that. It was too dramatic. It was too strong. But it also felt good because my blood
was boiling.
So we're going to have a little bit of homework today. 2 things I need you to do. I need you to do a challenge that's called No Pretty Little White Liar. And the reason why I'm saying that is I think one major thing that I know I need to work on and that I have worked on is not telling little white lies to make myself feel better or to make the other person feel better. Should we still be nice and accommodating? Absolutely. I love the phrase, I'm kind but not nice, because I think I've just been a nice girl for so long and we're not doing that anymore. I don't want to be happy to be identified as that. Nope, not having it, because it's brought me nothing in life, truly. And I'm at the point now where I'm like, I want something out of what I do. I don't give a crap anymore. And it's great to get to that point because it feels really freeing. So the challenge is, in all situations, of course, think. Don't just like spew everything out that you're thinking. But in those situations where you feel called to make up an excuse or to say something that's a lie, technically, but it feels justified or it just feels like it makes the situation easier, or if you feel like you want to talk in a situation because it's awkward if no one talks. I want you to be more comfortable with not being the person who fills the gaps or the silence. I don't want you to be so focused on, I need to do something. I need you to be comfortable in the silence and to be okay with either no one saying anything or someone else trying to do it. And it's not about making things awkward. It's actually about you learning to, number one, stand up for yourself and be honest and authentic in your life, and to not always be the one to feel like you have to carry this burden of making situations uncomfortable for yourself, but comfortable for other people. So do that and don't tell lies. For me, those lies would be a friend saying, do you want to do this thing tomorrow? And I make up a story of what I have to do instead of just saying exactly what I have to do, or saying I need a day where I catch up on things that I need to catch up on. I can't. Or just saying I'm really tired, or I don't want to go to the club. I don't want to go out to dinner tomorrow night. Like, it's not going to be super comfortable necessarily, but it's going to be really beneficial for you. The second thing I want to talk about is think back and realize the amount of times where you've done something for someone and just thought it would only be natural for you to have reciprocation of that energy, but the person actually just expects for you to always be the giver. How many times, and this is something that bugs me to my core, have you technically allowed for a person to waste your time? When you start to become busier, when you start to do things that matter to you, when you start to put yourself, self-care and all of those things as a way higher priority, you really start to notice when someone fucks with your time and when someone is just completely aloof and disregarding you, your time, and clearly has no respect for you. As someone who's doing 75 hard again, during my times I've done the challenge, I have strongly noticed the times that people do this to me. You have to wonder and sit back and go, I wonder why I'm the person that people think they can do this to. Because I know from a fact, because they've told me that they can't to certain other people. We have to realize that these people we're often dealing with are grown-ups who can keep a job, who can keep a hobby, who can go to the gym consistently. They have discipline. Especially when it comes to men, please understand that they are grown-ups. A lot of them are broken and a lot of them are losers as well. But a lot of the ones that we're dealing with are functioning human beings. So we need to stop giving them so much leeway. And that's where the work on you first comes in. For me right now, and it is about 6 p.m. on a Saturday, I had kind of made plans with someone. The only reason why we haven't met up in a while is because, number one, we're both busy, and I've said no a couple of times because I've had boundaries, because I'm not willing to sit there and be like, well, let me know. No, you can be a grown-up and make a fucking plan, and then we'll see. And guess what? Either people naturally fall away when you do that, or people get a clue. And let me tell you, there are definitely certain situations and situationships where you definitely probably need the only solution there is, which is cutting the person out. That needs to be the boundary in a lot of the situations. However, if that's not where you at, that's not the situation you're dealing with, you need to be comfortable with the repercussions of your decision and your boundary. Because the truth is, you're so scared of someone portraying you as someone you're not, or somehow being seen as a bitch or someone you feel like you're not. But really actually go into and analyze, what is it that I'm afraid of if I say the truth, or if I say no? Or if I don't just let someone completely steamroll me. I think I have the tendency to kind of play a little bit dumb in roles. For example, as work, when I'm the younger one, I tend to like pretend to give people the upper hand, or to like be like, I don't know. Or, I let people say things to me that I know are kind of to better themselves, not necessarily to put me down, but just to make me sound a little less than. And that's something that I will have to work on. And it doesn't mean like calling someone out like it would be your boss or something, but showing up more fully and expressing yourself and the good parts of yourself and the things that make you feel confident. Why do you shrink it down? I need you not to. I need you to try not to. I need you to show up more fully as who you are and understanding how capable you are. But in my situation, what happened was, one more time, I said, yeah, let's meet tomorrow. I think I can squeeze you in. I think I have time. And we kind of both agreed he could get back to me on if it would be possible according to my plans. I get fully ready and everything. And now this isn't someone who's like super important in my life. It's more of like a familiar more than it is like someone I'm close with. But that almost just makes me more annoyed, because I'm like, now I can't really fully be pissed off at you. But I'm definitely at the point now where I'm like, if I ever see you again, it's just going to be when I randomly decide to, because you've given me the energy of aloofness so many times now. Like, I'm sitting here so mad at myself right now that I let this person do that to me again. And then this time I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go do amazing things today, which I have done. But I still spent a lot of time getting ready, and I rearranged my day. I haven't gotten anywhere close to what I wanted to get done today, because my brain has kind of been filled up with like, well, I might need to do this and that so that I can be there on time. A couple of hours ago, I was like, you know what? Nope, it's too late now. And so I finished getting ready, and I was like, I will just film what I had intended to, and I'll get as much as I can done. And I'm just going to sit down tonight, and I'm going to enjoy a mocktail and make some fresh, healthy spring rolls. And I'm going to have an amazing night by myself. And I'm going to work on my passions and the things that I'm trying to do right now in my life, because that's been what I've been so focused on and I've been so passionate about lately, that I don't have the energy for cultivating relationships right now. I just spent an hour and a half venting and talking to one of my best friends, and I love him so much, but I'm not in the space where I'm really focusing on my personal relationships. I really want to find aligned people, and I want to really, really dive into what I love to do. And I want to find my passion and start building it into something that's actually real. So when people disrespect me and try to use me and my time like this, that's when I need to get pissed off, and you need to too. And that is my key takeaway in this, I want to call it People Pleaser series, because it's been one of the biggest things I have transformed in my life apart from my weight loss. As frustrated as I am, and as much as I know I feel like I just vented in this video, the key takeaway I want you to really comprehend and understand is, even if you take me from a year or 2 years ago when I actually originally met this person, I was so much more of a naive little people pleaser girl than I am now. I have learned so much from my experiences to the point which can be a good thing, to the point where I'm so fed up that I'm not doing it anymore. But either you need to be at that point too now, or I just don't want you to have to get to that point. The old me would have just gone, would have changed my entire day, would have waited the entire day, gotten ready almost all day, because I'd be like, oh, I want this person to like me. And that ties me back to the point on manipulation. You have to understand that you're actually trying to gain a feeling from it. You're trying to get something out of it. And even though you're giving, and it doesn't feel good necessarily, you're doing it because you're trying to fill a hole, like I mentioned. You're trying to gain a certain sense of validation. You're trying to make sure that you're good enough. So you doing all of these things is actually a form of manipulation because you're trying to do something that isn't you. And how good does it feel in those certain relationships where you just naturally have a flow, where you can make plans with like your girlfriends and you understand each other, you respect each other, and you all kind of just know, well, if this person's going through something, or I have a friend where I know I need to make plans a month in advance because she's very busy. It's just so amazing when you have that natural respect for each other and you keep the plans and you keep communication going. Alrighty then, now you have your homework to do, and I hope you're really gonna first of all think about all the situations in which you feel really frustrated. And I need you to feel frustrated because, as me right now, I am determined, as in determined, to not waste my night by feeling angry or annoyed, or now that I didn't do all the things I wanted to do, there's nothing more I can get done. I still want to have a good night, and I'm not going out. I'm gonna do the things that I need to do for my future self. If anything, I'm just taking this as the last straw when it comes to trying to be something for people, to be too much, to say yes to too much, and sit there and go, why is it that I feel the need or the desire to? What is it that it's gonna give me? Because this person has shown me many times that he has zero regard for my time or when it's his plans. Everything seems so desperate and so necessary when it's in the moment, when he's available. But he's never available to make solid plans. So I think in the next video, I want to talk about a friendship breakup that I've just fully experienced this past week, that I thought really taught me a lot, that I also talked to my therapist about. Because sometimes I think you can tend to shame yourself a lot when certain relationships end. Because often we do think, well, why does a relationship need to end? Unless it's like a romantic relationship where someone cheated or had an affair or something big happened. It can feel kind of unnatural in a way, because if we were such good friends, why would it need to end? But I really learned just how necessary it is to stand up for who you know you are, especially when you know you do so much reflecting and you do so much work on yourself. So stand up for yourself and do your homework right now. Please do it for the next week and really stand up for yourself and see what happens. Then we're gonna go into specific boundaries with friendships and then with love. Because oh boy, did that teach me a lot too. So go do your villain/healing era now. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.